Yo, yo, what up, people? It's your boy, Oh No Solo. I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Alert and Spoil. I got another recap and reaction for y'all. Now that the season finale has aired, I think it's time we talk about MTV Entertainment's own Special Ops Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Nicole Kidman, and Morgan Freeman. First things first, let's get this out the way. My overall honest opinion of the show is that it was done extremely well and made for some great viewing entertainment. For those of you who may not be aware, the show was about a woman named Jo whom worked as a CIA operative specializing in anti-terrorism, who struggled to balance the realities of her stressful day job with the hectic suburban home life. To achieve this, Jo recruits Cruz, a tough Marine, into the undercover Lioness program that she was in charge of. Cruz, a passionate yet rugged Marine, joins the CIA's Lioness engagement team to infiltrate a terrorist organization. And as the head of the Lioness program, Jo is responsible for training, overseeing, and leading her team of undercover operatives to avoid situations like 9/11 from ever happening again. Side note, the show draws inspiration from a real U.S. military initiative. In reality, it's named Lioness for its members being all female. However, in the show, the crew is mixed gender. Anyways, the show kicks off showing us just how raw and dangerous Jo's job in actuality is, as her and her crew engage in a revolutionary war like gun battle with some enemy soldiers. Just as Jo is put into a position where she has to order a bomb attack that will sacrifice her undercover agent in order to take out a target of high priority to the overall mission. The manner in which it's done suggests it wasn't the first or the second time she has had to make such a decision, and it probably won't be the last. Cruz's journey begins with a backstory of her life before joining the Marines. Things weren't looking good for her as she struggled to escape toxic living conditions. A dead-end job, an abusive boyfriend, and no sign of real friends or actual family in sight. A change was needed, and it was needed fast. Call it heavenly intervention, if you will. But one day, while fleeing on feet from her boyfriend after a physical altercation, she seeks refuge in the only door that will open for her, which so happened to be a Marine recruiter's office. Recognizing the strength of the officer exuding towards her and her pursuing ex, in that moment, she made a decision to join on the spot and ultimately change her life. Jo meets Cruz while scouting for a new agent needed to perform similar undercover duties as her previous one. Cruz's test scores made her the perfect candidate. After some quick convincing, Cruz, in hopes to add to the quickly growing reputation as a top-performing Marine, agrees to join the team out of pure patriotism for her country. What exactly she signed up for proves to challenge her in ways she nor we could have ever predicted. Being that the mission is time sensitive, the team wastes no time before beginning to train and prepare Cruz as best they can with everything she possibly needs to be successful. While she proves to be one tough soldier, they sure don't take it easy on her, as she is visually beat up pretty much the entirety of the show. While Cruz is getting beat up and prepped for her mission, we get a glimpse into the chaos which lives at Jo's house. A middle-aged sergeant/husband and 2 children whom operate together as if being in a single-parent household await her at home. Clear friction between the family is present, most of which is concentrated between Jo and her teenage daughter, Kate. Here we learn that her dedication to her career has caused her to make decisions to pull away from both her husband and her children, which she clearly struggles with, what I would imagine is daily. Cruz's target, a very wealthy and attractive girl who happens to be the daughter of one of the largest billionaire controllers of natural oil in the world. Aaliyah's father, Basim, has been the target of CIA for more than 20 years for providing the funding for some of the world's most violent acts of terrorism. He has managed to escape thus far, but with the help of our Lioness, the CIA has plans to change that and fast. Information received stated that Aaliyah, the oil princess if you will, was set to get married to a hypothetical predecessor in the coming weeks. Joe planned to use Cruz undercover to befriend Aaliyah, managed to get invited to said wedding, and to successfully confirm the identity and attendance of her father at the wedding so that he could be eliminated as a threat to the world. They did this by inserting Cruz into Aaliyah's eyesight at a very critical point in her cognitive life, one in which allowed an opening for the perfect stranger. The life that awaited the oil princess was one in which she was in no rush to pursue. And when she became intrigued by the stranger with the obvious bruised and scarred up exterior, the vibe hinted towards something a little more than expected. Aaliyah took an immediate liking to Cruz. Her core friend group seemed to have had their suspicions, as they weren't as quick to accept the new recruit into their friend group. For good reason. Over the course of the next few weeks, Cruz struggled to remain focused on the mission at hand. Ultimately, she was supposed to make this girl like her and enjoy her company enough to invite her to the most important day of her life, before she'd be either killing her father or at least initiating it. But what she didn't prepare for was the real human connection she would make in the process. She started to like the girl. Probably because up to this point, she hadn't had any real friends or anyone that showed interest into her similar to how Aaliyah had treated her ever since they had met. Aaliyah was genuine and intentional in regards to Cruz. She actually liked Cruz. Right on time for a dramatic turn, Joe's home was suddenly hit with tragedy. On a routine after soccer practice trip, her daughter was involved in a horrific accident that left her banged up and two of her close friends deceased. Prior to her getting surgery to repair her injuries, it was discovered that she was also pregnant. She ended up losing the baby as a result of the crash, but the whole ordeal added to the pressure that must have been bubbling in Joe's head. The situation, as serious as it was still not enough to take precedent over her main job, and her focus on that job would be extremely important to keep her undercover agent in a position to succeed, alive and well. With the wedding just days away, Aaliyah threw a huge wrench into the equation by seducing Cruz with long, passionate eye-gazing, intimate petting, and deep conversation about life and their futures that awaited. Conflicted with confusion between her personal desires and how she's beginning to feel about Aaliyah, and her focus on the mission begins to take a hold of her emotions. Joe attempts to rein in things by ordering that she watch 8 hours worth of violent events that have happened, presumably by way of Aaliyah's father, en route to location of the wedding. Upon her arrival, Cruz is swiftly met by stern bodyguards that receive her much differently than any occasion before. There's extra security this time, because just as the CIA had hoped, her father, Basim, is on location. As Cruz enters the estate, she is directed into a home office where she meets Aaliyah's soon-to-be husband, Asan, whom is visibly upset for reasons he quickly reveals. He is very logical in assuming that the stranger his fiancée met merely a few weeks ago is just a stranger, yet required to be here on the most important day of their lives. He suspects there is more between the two women. But because both women tell a similar untrue story of their dealings, he was forced to drop the matter for the moment. But he wouldn't forget about his suspicions. Later that night, after retiring to their individual rooms, Aaliyah shows up in a sexy little number, appearing to want one for the road as she attempts to join Cruz under the sheets. Cruz resists her own desires and objects. She then attempts to cool her hormones down in the moment by heading to the kitchen for a bottle of water. While standing in the open refrigerator, talking to herself, trying to regain her composure, she meets the target, Aaliyah's father, who has come to the kitchen for a midnight snack, if you will. He offers Cruz some of what he insists is the best gelati in the world. While the two are becoming acquainted in the kitchen, the fiancé, Asan, is busy in the office using the picture from Cruz's passport to run through some high-tech face recognition software. After a couple of searches, he manages to find what appears to be Cruz's Facebook page and surprised to discover that she is a Marine. Instead of alerting the whole house full of guards, homie sprints to the kitchen just in time to alert the target that she is a Marine. Instantaneously, Cruz's instincts kick in as she is able to retrieve a knife from the counter and quickly kills both the target and the fiancé before alerting the emergency beacon for the rest of the closely awaited team to come and rescue her. It's a mad dash to the extraction point. Cruz manages to escape several gunfire guards. Once outside, her team in all black is there to extract her while eliminating all in pursuit. Finally, in safe proximity of the oil estate, Cruz attacks Joe with punches to the face, expressing her extreme disapproval for the emotions she had to feel as a result of this mission. She blames Joe for bringing her into this. She is a soldier, indeed, but she doesn't mind being a soldier. She can do soldier shit. But what she did by playing on this innocent girl's emotions, Aaliyah, with her life, her real life, was too much to bear. The show concludes less than climactic, with Joe returning home to be met by an awaiting husband whom doesn't need to hear anything, just simply embraces her. Overcome with emotions, Joe breaks out in tears as she says, "This one was hard." The scene hints to a possible turning point in her life by implying that perhaps her priorities may shift towards her family and she may still have some time to get those relationships in order. As for Cruz, we are to assume she goes on to live the remainder of her days doing soldier shit. Like I stated at the beginning of this video, I enjoyed this show. I love the story in its entirety. It was wild to see where Cruz started at in life and to see that her determination for better got her to a point in life where she literally just changed the world with her actions. And because of the type of work it was, nobody will ever even know. I also enjoy seeing women play these strong roles that embody positions of power usually attributed to men. Zoe Saldana's character Joe was an absolute boss, and her superior, Nicole Kidman's character, played into it perfect. That attitude and personality were traits passed down intentionally in order for them to successfully complete their missions. Well done, honestly. And rumor has it, the show will be back for a season 2. By the way this one ended, I imagine a whole new story, most likely a different cast as well. As long as we keep the foundation built by season 1 in regards to its storytelling, the cinematography, and its boldness to tell these kinds of stories, this series should go down as a success. To give this series a number grade, I'll go 8.5 out of 10. That's what I think. If you watch this series, let me know what you think. Did I do a good job recapping? Am I capping about its entertainment value? What other shows you guys want to hear about from us? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more commentary. It's your boy Oh No Solo, and I'll see y'all in the next video of Alert and Spoil. Peace.